Okay. It is 4:58 p.m. on Monday, September 22nd, 2025. Calling the Transportation Committee meeting to order. Noting no public comment. We're moving on to our, we have to make a decision based on the bus proposal from Ms. Fellaini to purchase buses. So she has on there all of our options, A through F. Then she has what the new cost is, because these are all slightly used buses. And she has the mileage on there for you. We usually tend to buy slightly used buses because it saves us quite a bit of money. And we've had a mechanic, so we can usually keep them in service and we get more bang from our buck. Do you want to talk about your recommendation?
Sure. Also, new buses, lead times right now is probably...
Oh yeah, that's always our problem. They're like a year or two away.
Small buses is like a year and a half at this point, and not that I am proposing a small bus at this time, but a big bus is at least 6 to 8 months out, so we wouldn't see that bus until next year minimum. As you can see, A through F are the buses that we have available to us. I recommend not going with a Bluebird this year, just out of a couple of different things. Bluebirds tend to have a little bit more like ticks and some things. They're a little more sensitive type of buses, plus to get parts for those, sometimes we have to get those out of Oswego, so shipping takes a little bit longer, or I have to drive up there and that takes half my day, and then I'm out of the office longer than I wish to be. Our fleet is roughly half Bluebird, half internationals. I recommended the letter D, mainly because that one, as you can see, approximately 8,500 miles to the 10.9. That 8,500 miles to about 9,000 mile bus is still available. He is
$2 more. Let's see.
For a lot less miles.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, the bus is 4 years old. It is a 72 passenger bus. I would love to have another 77 just to have an extra one for Career Center. Career Center does require a 77 passenger bus. We have 2 currently in our fleet. So looking at that, saying that there's 9,000 miles on that bus, that's why I recommended letter D, just because it has the least amount of miles on it. And if the question is, why is there a 4-year-old bus with 9,000 miles? When you do the mileage, like what we have here in town, say our purple route, they're putting 16 miles a day on it. Well, when you add that up over 4 years, guess what? That's equivalent to our purple route without hardly any trips on it. So it's not like that bus probably sat for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it was a leased return bus. So it was under warranty. If there was anything major with it, Midwest took it back, whatever. As far as mechanical records, we probably would not have that. They would have that on file if there was something with that. Bus will not come with a warranty with it. If we wanted to choose to purchase an extended warranty, we could do so at that time. This bus will have lap belts on it, something that school district must have, asked for at that time when they ordered this bus. It will not have a camera on it. We will have to put our cameras on it. We have removed our cameras from the buses that we are selling, so we have those in the shop. It's just a matter of getting the time to put those cameras in, along with our 2-way radios. So that is why my recommendation is for that option D. And again, that 85 to 9,000 mile bus is still available if we want to put it on hold and be able to purchase.
Can you explain to me again why, I read the thing, but I have to refresh my memory about why you're needing a new bus? Is it replacing one or in addition to?
I would like to replace one. So we have a couple of buses out there that are just about ready to sell. They've been out of service since last school year. It was just a matter of having the time to strip those down and get stuff out of there. They're pretty much ready to go now. And I've got 2 guys getting down to the door to try to get them, buy them from us. So selling them is not going to be a problem for sure. We have 3 other 2010 International Max Forces. They're getting older. The one we did purchase from Hersher last year, that one has been fine. That one I plan to keep at this point, that has lower miles compared to the 2 that we have owned since before I started, so I'm not sure when Marla had purchased those. The one, we have to shut the battery off every night because it decides it glows in the dark. It has a wiring issue in it. We have replaced switches on it. We have found that it is the headlight switch. The headlight switch is $600 to replace. I am not interested in putting a $600 headlight switch in a bus that I don't want to keep. And I hope you appreciate the fact that I don't want to spend that kind of money. I know it's only $600, but at the same time, it's a bus I don't want to keep. It's starting to have too much rust on the body. Safety lane is like, every time I take it, so that is about, I would like to get it out of here, really and honestly. Is it something that I'm going to sell as soon as this bus comes? Probably not right away. I want to make sure that we are good and safe and have enough buses. But as soon as safety lanes, like, it's out, for sure.
How much do you get up to when you sell the buses? How much on average? Like,
Pretty much scrap prices.
Yeah, not a
It's
lot.
whatever's going for scrap prices, in all honesty. I'll be honest, by the time we're done with the salt and gravel and everything else, we have well used our lifetime on these buses. Yeah.
Where do you guys go for safety lane?
Tom's Truck Repair over in Moni.
Okay.
About how many miles does a school bus have on it before you retire it?
The ones that, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you right now, the bus that I was telling you about with the headlight switch, she currently, as I call her, she currently has only 133,000 on it, but my highest mileage bus that I have right now is about 154,000 on the big buses. And then, however, my little buses, they're all right around 130 to 150 because we put about 10,000 miles on our little buses every 3 months.
Wow. That's why I wondered how much
Correct.
we put on here.
So my little buses, they go through quite a bit of rigmarole just because of how far we drive with special ed.
Letter D, what engine did letter D have in it?
But all of these, every single bus on here is a 6.7 Cummins with an Allison transmission.
They all have DEF in them?
Correct.
No, it's a scam.
Yep. They all have DEF, they all have EGR, and if we delete them, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yep.
asking, where do you go for your safety lane, because
Yep.
Tom's a little strict, but that's okay.
Well, Tom's not there, it's Ed, his son-in-law, but,
I went there one time with our truck, I was like,
Really?
never again.
I like Ed.
Just for the record, Ed, thank you for your service to
Straight on buses
Yeah.
kids.
Trader Farms did not go there.
And all of these, I think I don't know if she made it, any one that you do buy comes already safety. So Midwest takes care of it for us,
Yeah.
and it's provided, so we don't have to do anything to it.
Yeah, this bus will come ready for the road when it is delivered. Yes.
And then we are not looking at a little bus this year. This would be the only big bus purchase you want. I know we were looking at van. You need a van.
Correct. I would, because we are down to one minivan currently, my thought process was one big bus this year, and if I can find 2 vans for the rest of the money allotted to me,
Okay.
that is what my thought process was. Now, I did originally have a van proposal. In looking at that van, it is more like a mini white activity bus.
No, you just want like a minivan, like a normal minivan.
Yeah, I would like, yes, correct.
Yeah, because they're not really, usually you're not using them for lots of kids. It's just a couple, right?
Hopefully, yeah, yep.
So something
And
a little more
of course-
fuel efficient.
Well, fuel efficient and also a little more user-friendly for the coaches and stuff, and
Yeah.
also for district staff, because I would like to get their van or a van back over here so they have one accessible to them, on a regular basis since I still.
how much is in our transportation fund right now?
That's right, just 1,000.
It's-
So
it's
we already put it as part of the budget, the 170,000.
I know, but like, what is it? I didn't know what was in there. Is that how much is in there? What figured?
I don't
Oh,
know.
talking about the reserves?
No,
Well,
in
no, which is what's actually
transportation.
in it right now. Like, that would we be taking out, I mean, I know it's allocated, but how much was
Like, what was my
Oh.
budget for this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
thought-
budget-
No, she
No,
wants
it's-
to
are
know
you-
what's in the.
Like in
What's
the actual
actually
bank?
in the actual
Oh,
fund.
I don't
Um,
know off the top of my head.
I could,
I wanna say
I
like
probably have it in one of
300.
the board packets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, it would be. in
it's one of the
here.
magic numbers he reads. I believe it's, I want
I
to say,
thought it was
1.5,
Okay.
1.5 million, but I can,
So even what she's allocated with money and what's in that, we're still good for all this kind of stuff, I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yes.
every year
Yeah.
she has a budget, and
Right,
within that
right.
budget, so she had budgeted a big bus and a little van, or not, an activity bus was what originally was it, what she said, I don't want the activity bus this year.
No, I know,
wanna
I'm just
use
talking
that for
about with
van."
the overall fund, with
Oh.
making sure we're, because like I said,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hearing a lot of high number buses, and that's kind of like making me think,
we're gonna need a few
we're
more.
doing this, I feel like in the next few years, we're gonna be not draining it, but it sounds like we're gonna be needing a new bus every year, it sounds
Well,
like.
It's usually what
ideally,
we do.
We really
We usually
should
do
Yeah.
at least one, okay.
Replacing at least one every year,
Yeah.
ideally.
Okay.
Where everything's on a cycle, so we
Yeah.
do about 2 buses a year, either 2 big buses, 1 big
Yes.
bus, 1 activity. In her budget, that's already allocated every year. This is just what she's saying this year.
So on the
this is what-
lookout, we're still okay with getting this for the next, and then next year doing the
Yeah.
2 vans, we're still.
Yeah, this is something that Mr. Cox kind of started when he was back on, to kind of put a cycle with Marla, instead of coming and saying, oh, we have 5 buses that are breaking down and we don't have enough on the road. He said, well, let's start where these are on a cycle and we're just constantly budgeting for it every year, and it's just in there.
1.22 million. And I'm very happy to say Transportation Department in the 5 years I've been here has never been over budget. So they've always come in under
They are really
budget,
good.
so.
And there's been years they've been like, she's come to us and I think it was like 3 years ago, I'm actually really good, I don't think I need anything this year. But then there was a year, the next year, where she's like, it went bad, I need 2 buses, when we were only supposed to do 1, so it evens out.
So the 2 would cost, it would be.
It would be.
With-
Well, she doesn't have a van yet.
Correct.
Right.
But
She's
we
only
budgeted for her to purchase.
Yeah,
one.
she'll do it within her budget, but she was
Well,
hoping to have one.
You budgeted 170.
And today.
You
I
didn't
see-
necessarily budget 1 and 1 or 1
Yeah,
and 2.
yeah.
yes.
Right, the dollar
So
amount when you add it
she's
would
using
be-
90,000, that's
Yes.
her,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But she doesn't like, these aren't good enough deals, so that's why she's selling it. She's found these, but she doesn't like them. She wants to find better deals. So she'll come to us later with better deals.
Right. Once I see
See?
the vans that I like, I would buy.
So we're not even gonna do the
No.
vans today, it's
Nope.
just the top
Yep.
buses.
That's what she found. She decided, nope, I don't like those.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
wants
I
the
don't
big
like
bus.
any of the vans.
Yeah,
Correct.
she wants one big bus.
When would D be delivered if they, now that, again, no action today.
Yeah, 'cause that's
If,
her
if they decide to move forward and propose to the full board on October 8th, when would you have it? If
It will be ready anytime in October, whenever we were able to provide a check.
oh, so once it's paid for, it's on site?
Yes, the
Okay.
bus is in Kankakee ready, basically waiting for stickers.
So it's either C or D.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, D, if you want D, if it's still there, and that was one of those things, if we're,
Oh, they got 3.
if this is what we're proposing to the board,
D, I know for sure, is still there with the 9,000.
so that's what I'm saying, are they gonna, our board meeting's in October, is it still gonna be there in October?
He will hold
Because
it.
you'll say, okay, that's what I
Yep,
figured.
Yep, he will hold it.
Okay.
So if you guys give me permission to hold that bus, I can
Oh.
make that happen.
I mean, if there's no
would make a
real reason to do the other one, I mean, the only difference is a 77 passenger thing, but if you've got a KACC bus and a backup bus
And
for
a
that,
backup,
and they're
right.
fine,
Mhm.
then, yeah, might as well go with the one with less miles.
Yeah, that was my question between C and D is how,
It's the size, and
Right,
that
it's a
was,
five
you need a
kids, so we
backup,
need-
you need your KACC bus, and you have to have a backup, because if something happens to it, you gotta get those kids there. And if we already have that, then we don't need it right now.
I have 2 77s, and then in the future, at some point, I'll go back
Yeah,
to buying
another one.
an extra 77. correct.
Okay.
so then theoretically, maybe next year you would need a 77, but we'd be okay not getting
Probably
one.
the one after, because next year I'm gonna come to you for little buses.
Yeah, because you said you needed a 277, that's why I'm like trying to
Yeah.
figure out the order of which
Yeah.
Yeah.
So will it be the recommendation
For
of
D,
the,
yeah.
D.
For D,
of the transport, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
all right, so I will,
This was interesting.
Now, your bus GPS programming, now, I know we've talked about this, we talked about it before the referendum.
yep.
So
So this
it
one's
got kicked
kind of a-
down, kept getting kicked down the road because of the cost.
Right, it's a
Right.
combination of both Kelly and I. So Kelly, originally when Kelly brought it to me pre-COVID, and it was more of, hey, it's a routing software, it's gonna help us find the most efficient route, things like that.
Oh, I bet Scott did pre-COVID, because mine was still a.
Yes. So
Yeah,
that was pretty
yeah,
much
it
it.
was Scott, yeah, it was Scott. Mhm.
So in the last year or so, we've had a significant influx in parents who want cell phone numbers of our bus drivers and our monitors so they can be on call at them while it's time to find out where my bus is. And to me, A, it's a terrible idea giving personal cell phones to people. And B, there's programs out there that you can actually monitor the location of the bus itself. Peatone has it.
Chavanaugh has it.
Chavanaugh has it, my kids have it, I mean, a lot of school districts around here, it's a GPS system it's on your phone, it's an app. So I pull up the app and it says right there where the bus is at. So I know if I'm a parent and I'm waiting for the bus at 10:05, 10:05 is a terrible time, 6:35 is my pickup time, and I look at, oh, it's 6:35, they're not here yet, I can pull up my app and realize, oh, they're 2 blocks down, I can see them right there. Or, you know, more importantly, it's for the sped department, because those are the ones that are, have a lot more span on when it comes to picking up kids. If you're in town route, you pretty much know every single day it's the same time. With sped routes, sometimes it takes a little bit longer for a kid to get on bus, or it takes a little bit longer for us to get the distance we have to get to, because it's not from here to there, to there, to there, it's here to
The whole district.
there, yeah.
Well, and it could be, I mean, in country it could be beneficial because there were times,
Yeah.
literally, I didn't know if they'd come yet because sometimes it'll be 10, 15 minutes off. And when I had to take the kids, I'd go, I'm like, I don't see her down the road. I'm guessing we missed it. And we get halfway to the road and I see those kids. I'm like, oh, no, we didn't miss it, but I'm already on the way.
You already have this?
Yeah, I think we have
We
this.
have this.
Katie Gersh, I tell you what.
Give it to us.
So Kelly reached out to and found 2 companies that basically do the GPSing, and I made sure, the one caveat I said, don't give me GPSing for routing software. I want GPS for routing software, but I need to have this parent app available. So the 2 companies that responded were right there, and I can give you the full, I actually believe I made you guys, you actually have the whole thing?
Yeah, we have
I
everything.
tell you what, Katie Gersh.
She is on it.
So it's Transfinder and then
Tyler.
And Tyler.
Traversa is, parent company is called Tyler Tech.
Okay.
It's easier just to call them Tyler, but
Yeah.
the actual software is called Traversa.
Right, so digging through, I did my best to try to make it as simple as I can to tell you what the 2 different prices are. So one of the Transfinders is for just 6 vehicles. The other one is for all 18, which is our full fleet. And then within Tyler, it's the same charge base if you do 6 or 18. And then there's a difference on per year because of the volume of buses that you have. So for 6 buses, the Tyler company, at the end of the year, this is not a 1 year, so it's not a $25,000 vendor program. But at the end of year 3, with Tyler, you'd be spending $34,200, and with Transfinder, you're $23,700, if you just do our sped buses. If you expand it to all of our fleet, you're then over a 3-year span looking at $59,000 or $36,000. Now again, if I break it down, I gave you the full 3-year, but if you just look at it year by year, Tyler charges you a base rate of $15,000 to get it done. Now Transfinder actually incorporates it into their yearly cost, so that's why their yearly costs are a little bit more. The 13.3 versus, I'm sorry, like the 10.9 versus 7.6, 11.5 versus 7,600, or at the top 7,000 versus 2,000, because they're including, they're breaking that base cost over the course of 3 years. That's why I want to make sure I gave that to you.
And the cost to this comes out of the transportation
It would be part of the
budget?
transportation budget, yep.
Is it a year-by-year contract, or would it be multi-year contract?
So I believe it is a 3-year contract. wage.
After the end of the 3 years, that 3rd year would be basically your year after, every year after that. Because it would be an annual type subscription on your software. That software includes your updated, like mapping, anytime you add a subdivision or a new road, bridges.
They do, would they do
So
all
does
the
this-
updates, and would they do all the
It's
fixing?
automatically updated in the software, so it
Okay.
automatically comes to my, my software on my computer. Both companies also work with Power School. The difference that I found though is that Transfinder does nightly automated updates with Power School, so if I have a new student that comes in, and I have their transportation information in Power School, it automatically updates and puts into the routing software and puts them on a route that night, and then sends me in the morning, I will have an email or however I have it set up that pop up and show me, hey, new student on the route, even though I probably already knew about it anyway because every school is telling me new student is coming, but it automatically will put them onto a route for you. Tyler's a little more tricky. I'm still a little confused as to see how they add new students. It seems more like it's a manual thing that I would have to go and manually add new students and stuff. It does still work with Power School, Skyward, all your major softwares that schools use, but it seemed like Transfinder was a lot more user-friendly, a lot more one-man show kind of friendly as well, where Tyler was integrated like a bigger school district with multiple users for their
Now,
software.
does this also map for the drivers? So like if you have a substitute bus driver that comes in, they'll
Right.
automatically see the map and the stops of the?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So if we had tablets, which is a whole other cost, which I did not want to do because I was trying to keep costs down as much as possible, yes.
But would it
However,
work if they had like an app on their phone?
They can't use their phones on the bus.
So it can't be like mounted? Okay. That's what I was curious about. You know, have you, before we had it in our cars, we
Right.
just mounted our phone and had it on there, so that's why I was curious
So,
though.
however, but it comes out in a turn-by-turn similar
Yeah.
thing where I print it out and hand them their directions and stuff. The one nice thing about the routing software is that I'm not scrambling at the beginning of the school year where registration is running until literally the night before school starts, and I'm still making routes, whereas
Yeah.
instead I can push buttons and print papers and it's done, you know. Granted, is there gonna be some hiccups? Of course there is. I mean, let's face it, technology is always great, we can use it and it works, you know what I mean? However, I think it's gonna make things a lot easier, especially with the parent app where parents can send messages into that app. I will get those messages. I will have an app with my phone that I can do stuff. Again, if I'm driving, that's gonna make it a little bit tighter, but, in theory, when I'm not driving, then I can be able to get on the radio and send message, you know, and get it across to that, you know, so-and-so's not riding today
Yeah,
and
skip
whatnot.
it, yeah.
So did you say the cost after year 3 is just like the update cost? Is that all it is then?
It's the update, it's also being, for me to be able to get a hold of tech and problems that I have.
So just, is it like a yearly fee after that then?
Correct, it's like a subscription. type of
Okay,
fee,
do you know
so
how much that is then, or do they
It's
say?
that year 3 cost.
Oh, it's the year, I'm sorry.
It just keeps
Okay,
for
so that's for that, it
transponder,
keeps
correct.
going, okay.
Yes, they said your annual
Oh, so your
subscription
year
and for
3 is
transponder
continued, okay.
is year 3. Now Tyler, I believe it would be roughly the same,
Okay.
but again, their numbers were a little bit more confusing for me to follow.
Is Tyler, I don't know, is it the same thing, like, I used Tyler before, or,
So Tyler Tech is a very huge company, and again, Traversa is actually the name of the software that we would be using. So Tyler Tech, again, is a parent company. They have their hand in a whole bunch of different
yeah,
technology type of things,
so,
correct.
we used them for a few years, if it's the same thing, and
They're very
it was only a very short few years for certain reasons. So I don't know if it's the same thing, like,
Yeah, not a great experience if it's the same thing.
So there's
Proceed
this
with caution.
school district that I'm friends with that I went down and looked at their software and I was very confused. It's more expensive to the TransFinder, but my recommendation is the TransFinder. Chabanaw's school district, their transportation supervisor came down, we had our computers side by side. I taught him a bunch of stuff with Power School that he'd never seen before in the transportation pages, and he taught me a bunch of stuff with his TransFinder, other than what demos I had seen, so I got to see it live action. It was so much easier than when I went to my friend's school that has Traverso for Tyler Tech.
Well, and if you're doing all of them, it's not more expensive, it's quite a bit cheaper.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're doing the whole
That's
fleet.
Well, and then that was the other thing, when you did the
Like, that's a
side-by-side
big
comparison,
difference, yeah.
it made more sense to go with TransFinder with the whole fleet, because I did it just for giggles, even though Dr. Dean's like, just do 6, and I'm like, sneaks 18 for fun, and then I saw the prices and I went, and then like, don't be mad, but I quoted them all too.
Now,
So, I mean, and then again, that's up to you guys of which route you would like to do. Special ed for sure, but again, as Ms. Belt knows, because I was, her kids driver for a long time, and this country route in the winter for sure, those roads get slippery and we get behind.
And when your driveway is quarter mile, half a
Yeah,
mile long,
right, yeah.
them kids waiting out in the cold, they
Yeah.
hated it.
Yeah.
But that's why too, you also hate to be stopped on Eagle Lake and you're waiting for these kids to be running, because there'd be times I'd be behind the desk and because they'd wanna wait where it was warm.
Yeah.
So you're, once again, the roads are slick and icy and you're stopped and parked on a 55-mile-an-hour road, I mean,
Yeah, your driveway is for sure a very good example because it is not a good location
No.
at all.
now,
Yes.
could you send messages that gave me an idea? If there is like a bus breaks down, could you send a
Yes.
message out to the parents on that route? Just
Yes.
like say yellow and be like, your bus is delayed 30 minutes due to an accident?
Correct, and also not only with that, if I've already picked up their kids, I will only send messages to your kids and beyond, so they don't get confused as, what do you mean your bus is
yeah,
late?
I thought you already
Okay.
picked up my kid.
My
Right.
kid's already on the bus. Correct.
How about, something like mine goes to daycare 2 days a week. If we have childcare providers that we put into Power School for you guys, would they get the message or would it only go to the parent or guardian?
I would have to check with that, but there might be a way to be
Okay.
able to like put in additional phone numbers in with that. I don't see
Okay.
why not, but I would have to check on that.
Just because I know some kids go to home daycare or whatever. And the third one is this for 180 days or would this cover like kids who do kids have like extended school year here? Where they go in the
Correct, this would be all
summer?
year round.
So this would be for those kids in extended school
Oh,
year?
yeah, ESY
They would
for
get it
sure.
too. Because one of them, I was looking at this Tyler one and it said 180 days and I was like, if it's for, there are students who receive extended school year accommodations, like,
Transporter I know is all year round.
okay, maybe he was just quoting different prices.
If it said Tyler, okay, maybe I missed it on.
I don't know. Yeah, this was, yeah, the very last page, the email, the bottom quote said, estimated total per vehicle per day for 180 days of school. That was on the email that was attached from Tyler, so I'm thinking if we have kids with extended school year,
Right.
Or that might be it.
would they charge, what would be the
Is the
extra?
other one full year then?
And that would be a question I would have to ask my salesman.
I mean, my thing is always, it's in your budget. If you want it and you're making it work within your budget,
Yeah, this is 12 months.
So I have a question. So this
That's
is,
fine.
so we've been talking about, I assume, routes for pickup, drop-off, normal school day. So this GPS finder, is that something that can be utilized by like sports parents
Yeah,
too?
that was my
Like,
third question.
Yeah, because like if if I have a our kids travel far for school and then
Yeah.
it's like you can be like, okay, we know they got there or,
but those are
We can
different, yeah,
estimate
those
what
are
time they come
different
back.
routes.
So
Every
no,
time you don't have
sports
the
trips
bus,
would
yeah.
only be within the counties. We are allowed in one county for free, and
Okay.
technically, and they are, both companies allotted me a second county for free. Normally they would pay. So only counties that I elected to opt in with this would be Will and Kankakee.
Okay.
So,
Because of
yes, in
KCC.
theory, if you're within those two counties.
So could you see once they've entered those counties?
I would think so.
You
Oh, okay.
I would think
Yeah,
so.
because I mean, I just, like, as, you know, as a parent, when you're,
Right.
when your kid's at a game or something like that, and they're traveling home, and you're trying to estimate, like, when are they
5
gonna be
minutes.
here, if they
Yeah.
stop for, dinner, and then you're just, I mean, well,
No, that's.
but then again,
yeah.
most parents can track their kids
Okay,
anyway.
yeah.
So what's
Yeah,
the
that's
60
true.
months?
I was gonna say everybody does the other app.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like TransFinder is for the full 12 months.
Yes, TransFinder for sure, I know is all year round.
Yeah.
Because that was what, he had said that, if we were to go with them, he would be able to get us up and running probably between April and May, and then that way, summer school and ESY would be our like trial run. That way
Okay.
we're not going blind into next school year.
That's a good idea.
I mean, it sounds like it's a far away, but it's all the training, it's getting the software in, it's to make sure everything, there's no bugs, getting Power School to integrate with it and fully set, instead of just, here you go, blind, blah, blah, blah. And then all the training and hours with me as well.
I think it's a good idea because, I mean, I understand the parent concern, I mean, especially if they're going to Shanahan or Kankakee in the winter. But a driver should not need to be giving out their own cell phone numbers
Oh,
or worried
definitely
about
not,
texting
yeah.
a parent when their responsibility has to be to the safety. I mean, not that they're not, but like, that'll be on the back of your mind is, oh, I should tell the parents.
And these
Besides
two-
walkie-talkie, you all.
Just so you know, we don't give out, it's illegal, we don't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
They use their
You're not
phones to
allowed.
call.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
so-
still, they shouldn't,
100% agree with that.
you know.
And so you can
I get
message
that.
them as a parent through them too, saying, my daughter's not coming to school today. and all
You
that
can
kind of
message
stuff.
her,
Oh, you message, it
not
goes
the
through
driver.
you, okay.
Correct.
Well, but it
Because
goes
drive-
through the
It will go
platform.
through.
Right.
Yes.
And she would radio it.
It's kind of like using Remind and all
Yeah, yeah.
those for the teachers.
And these two counties would cover all of our special eds and all our regular routes minus one. So, and that one only has one student on that route, so.
I had a question for you. So when the bus drivers have to do pre-trip inspections every morning,
Correct,
okay, so how do they do it, paper or electronic?
we have paper.
Okay.
Yep, we have paper. If we had tablets, we could do electronics, but again, trying to
I
save
think this
the
like
cost.
3 times now.
Yep.
She's got a budget.
Next
She can
year,
ask for
she's
this next year.
So she's planting the seed.
Right. So they would do all of the tech, like if something breaks, all of this fees would cover them to fix
What do you mean?
Well,
I'm
it's
sorry.
just software.
The software, like if there's issues with the software,
Oh,
they
if
take
it's just
care of.
software, then I call
it's-
right into the tech and everything
Okay.
else, and we work that over the phone, and I call Joe Duncan and they sit next to me before I break it. Yep. Yep.
If she had a tablet, it would be more.
Right, yeah.
We're gonna get a tablet request
Oh,
in about 6 months.
Have to we cycle out old
Yeah.
tablets?
Is it just a
right?
So
tablet you need?
I guess, why wouldn't we just issue tablets if it was easier?
So the tablets that they would do, they're a little bit different. We would have to have all the mounting hardware for all the buses, there's another cost. And then I don't think we can just use any old tablet. I think we'd have to see, and, I didn't get into those type of
Because
areas, because I didn't want to get into that cost. But I am not sure we can just use an Apple tablet or a Samsung tablet. They're pretty rugged. They also have code readers on them. Then we get into a whole nother area of what do we do with our IDs, because then there's scanners, and then we're scanning kids on and off the bus, and now we're taking even more time getting kids on and off the bus, and there's like a whole nother conversation around that I'm not sure we're all ready to have that conversation yet.
That might be a 2 or 3.
And cost, yes.
Well, that, we may find the software and be like, it's not worth it for everyone.
Correct.
Maybe we
Right.
really just want it for sped, you know, I mean, you never know.
Well, a huge school district, sure, when
Yeah.
you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of kids, sure. But
Mhm.
we're a little bit smaller school district, we're a little bit more of a personal school district, we get to know our kids a lot better one-on-one. I mean, I'm a sub-bus driver, and like 3/4 of our kids, on our routes, I can call by name. One, I've been here long enough to be able to do that, and I drove the routes enough to do that. But I think that we have a little bit better handle on our students that way, rather than those schools that are thousands and thousands and thousands of kids busing all over, and then one person gets missed, then, chaos ensues,
Now, with this, would there be the potential, which might not even be a thought for you or whatever, but I know in the subdivisions, like, a lot of your stops are like house, 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 house.
No.
If-
Not
Not
anymore.
anymore?
Oh,
no.
Okay,
We
when
fixed that.
when we lived in town, and my kid was, it literally made 3 stops for 3 neighbors.
No,
Like, because
no,
we
no,
got
no,
away,
no.
we used to have bus stops, and then we went to where it was just houses. I was like, well, with this, we could kind of go back to bus
Absolutely.
stops.
It's-
Because
Yeah.
parents could see when the bus needed to be there, that would save a lot of time, because I remember just when we lived in town, watching the bus go through the neighborhood, it took 15 minutes to go a block.
That's
Because
there's
it
no
was
sidewalks.
stopping, because it had to drop them off at their house.
That's because there's no sidewalks. We were at.
Well, no, we just got away because they had to be dropped at their house, which I didn't know. With this, that could be a potential, maybe saving some time.
Absolutely. We've tried a lot of the town, and tried to get some of my more mom-like drivers to not cater to that as much, try to do a corner, maybe a mid,
Yeah.
and a corner. The only ones that I have allowed are my little kiddies.
Yeah, the kindergarten.
And make sure that they get in the door. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I know some of them, like our old subdivision, we didn't have
Kiddies.
sidewalks. Like, so I was like, no, you have to pick up at my house because my kid can't walk through like
I was saying we
open
had,
fields.
where I was, we had it.
You guys had
When it was,
sidewalks.
I was just like, I would always tell my kids, go walk down there to that house. Like, they don't need to stop here, you're big,
Yeah.
go.
That's what we do. We actually consolidated our subdivision because they were supposed to stop twice and we just all
Okay.
agreed to meet at one.
So it is
You
a-
can add this within your budget and be fine this year.
So it is the, what do you?
I know, we're asking. Her-
So-
If she can do this within her budget, because if she says yes, then it would be my recommendation to the board.
I mean,
I
I
would
would,
love to.
Yeah.
I would say that if it's within our budget, it would be a,
Not specifically, I don't know, you might have to give something else up instead.
Yes, it will be within our budget.
That's it,
So,
if it
I
is
mean,
within her
I think-
budget, I would
I
recommend
think
it
this
to
is
the
a good
board.
thing for all of our students and all of our parents to have. It's one, and when we brought that other program on board, if there's things that we can do to ease burden on our staff, make things easier for our staff, that is also a benefit to our community. I mean, I think we should definitely think about those.
Need some
6 or
parent
18.
time.
I'm not sure.
18.
Oh,
I would say 18.
18 for sure, okay.
If it fits within her budget,
so,
then it's
okay,
recommended.
so this is a, you said April, May thing. Do we have to approve this now? Cause like, we're in September, I'm like super like, approving things to get like done like this that maybe are not a necessity, I'm like nervous about doing it so early in the school year, like, knock out when nothing breaks down, like,
Well, it wouldn't be paid for until it's implemented, which would be
That was
like
gonna be my
next
question.
that's what I mean.
But then we're
asking.
budgeting it now.
Are we, is that,
Right, so this would be, once it, but now this is a separate budget item, so this is a different bucket. So the transportation's a complete, if our boilers break down, then you
no,
allocate.
transportation, like a bus
Yeah.
breaks down, like
Oh.
if we like, I don't,
That's why.
I'm just, it's
Yeah,
so
no, I get
early
it.
in the year, spending money on stuff that's not a necessity makes me nervous, like, I'd rather do it towards the end of the year, we know, okay, we're good, let's, you know, what I mean? I just didn't know when this money will be taken out, just in case, I mean, I'm sure they're gonna be great, but I'm just saying, as a whole, you know, when was
But
this
that's
coming out?
mostly,
Yeah.
as a board, most of our decisions should be for next year. We shouldn't be
That's what I'm saying, but for when the
spending
money
this
taken
money.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we should be making decisions for things
And
for next
it would
year.
only be, so I assume I shouldn't assume, I'm sorry. My thought is, listening to you all, you're looking at TransFinder for 18 buses. Okay, so then it would just be the 1339 once the year, the job is completed. And then annually, so I would assume you're gonna pay the 1339 in October-ish, or whenever it happens to get done. And then July, once the new fiscal year starts, you would do the 1099.
And that will be
So
all
we
we
pay
pay
for it.
Mhm.
So you're paying for
So
it,
you
but
are
you
paying
can't
it now.
use it until April.
No. The 13.3 would be paid in April when it was taken care of. And
Okay.
then
Oh,
for
you said
next,
You said October.
I said October.
You said October.
That's why I was like,
That's why,
wait,
I was like, hang on.
Once you
I was
approve-
on
I apologize.
your road and then
Once
you
you
went off.
approve it in October, they have to get the
Oh,
work
the
done and
approval,
get, yes.
yeah. Yeah.
You would get paid
Yeah.
when work is done, probably April, May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then July 1, you'd pay
Yeah.
the
Okay,
next.
yes,
for the-
perfect,
So,
yes.
sorry, I apologize.
And then you can allocate.
But we're, right, we're
Right, so that's what I
allocating
wanna
it, we're
make
putting
sure.
it into our budget,
Yes.
we know that this is a cost
Gonna
that,
be an
that we're
expense.
gonna
Yes.
incur.
And I'm also able to, because when you do the levy, I've not done the levy for next year, so that
You can
first
add
levy
that.
money, I can levy for 2 cents more in the transportation department, just to make sure that there's a coverage in there. I levied for less this past year, finance, because they've always been really good about being under budget. So I actually pulled back from transportation this past year, so I can always put some more, I'll put some more money back into that.
I think it's a safety
Love the
issue.
levy.
too.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
safety, I
It's a
think it's all
safety
safety.
issue.
Yeah, that's.
Well,
the
safety,
weather.
convenience, you know, like, yeah, lots.
They don't normally ask for a lot, but you kind of, if you ask the board for something and it's legit and it's within the budget, we don't really say no.
You just said the transportation doesn't ask for a lot.
They don't. We have the bus cycle, where they came and asked for cameras years ago. That was kind of a big purchase, but that was something that was necessary. We talked about this then too, and we're like, no, you get cameras, that's all you get right now.
The problem is when we do ask, it's big.
Yeah, but
But I think when the bus is on a cycle, keeps the
Yeah.
Yeah.
budget consistent, where these little extras don't make a huge dent.
okay, where are we at?
Other,
Do we have any other?
noted tablets, superintendent said no to our
Yeah.
tablets. so
Not yet.
I'll be that guy.
I said no to tablets.
Oh, okay.
Do we have a rough idea for vans, or is that something that's where it's like time is of the essence of, yes, you've already spoke to us that you want vans and you have a budget, is that something where we're gonna have
She said
to?
next year.
Next year.
She said next year.
No vans, no,
she
there's gonna be a
didn't
van.
This year.
Oh, I thought you said next
She
year.
just has no big bus
Little
next year.
bus.
Minis next year.
Next year.
Is that something where we're gonna have to approve not to exceed what you have left or
No,
whatever? Okay.
there's not that
Okay.
big of an emergency for it, it's
Okay.
just, we wanna maintain a cycle.
I just didn't wanna get,
Yeah.
because lots of those, if they're deals, they're kind of time is of the essence.
No, yeah, the problem is just finding what we are legally allowed to drive within our licensing and coaches licensings and, not finding something over mileage and, you know, in good shape and stuff like that, so.
Try to find that unicorn.
Well, I know, well, that's what I'm saying, is, would that be more beneficial when we have the next ordinance saying not to exceed a certain amount, so when she does find it, she can get it? No? Okay.
So let's rein Kelly Fellaini.
Well, we've done that before, that's not abnormal, because like you said, when you're looking for a unicorn, when you find it, half the time, oh, by the time a board meeting, you know,
Oh,
not
I
there,
see.
it's not-
You're
It's
Oh,
just-
like give her
yeah.
like a range
Yeah.
of prices, like, hey, if you
Yeah.
can find one in this price range.
well, I mean,
it'll be
she's got
like-
her budget, so we just always say not to exceed
It'll be
what
like
she's looking for.
80,000.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But okay, no more public comments, so we are adjourning the transportation meeting at at 5:37.